the ultimate fact I was going to get to is, so how do you tell if a group is a terrorist organization? They target civilians. How do you know they target civilians? Because they have a very high civilian kill ratio. So, for example, Hamas on October 7th, they killed civilians and military. They killed hundreds of military guys, but they killed more civilians. 67% of the people they killed were civilians. Yeah. So, terrorist group. Clear, obvious?
That's terrorism.
That's terrorism. Okay. In Gaza, Israel's civilian kill ratio is 83%. It is worse than Hamas. In fact, it is worse than any terrorist organization in the world. 83%. And at scale, tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of people killed, 83% civilians. They say, no, you have to apply that label unevenly and unfairly. You only apply it to our enemies, but if we do worse than them, you are not to ever say it. And that figure, by the way, comes from the Israeli press. The Israeli press is way better than the American press.
I've noticed.
Yeah, you know why? Because they can't call them anti-Semites.
Right, that's totally right.
Right? So they can't end the career of anyone who criticizes Israel because they're all Israelis, right? But here in America, if you report the same thing, you're going to be called an anti-Semite, and they're going to try to get you fired, shut you up, and ruin your life.
Yeah.
So that is why
I'm not playing along. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's my point about hope. No one on TV has ever said what the Israeli press has reported, that Israel has an 83% civilian kill ratio. In IDF is basically a terrorist organization. And they have killed 70 times the number of people Hamas has killed, and they've killed more civilians as a percentage. But we're forced to fund that terrorist organization. But no one on TV will ever tell you that, because if they do, they know that they are risking getting fired. And so I talked to Ryan Grimm from Dropsite News about this just a couple of days ago on our show. We do Young Turks from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern every day on YouTube. Then at 8 p.m., we're doing a show called Revolution. Okay? Peaceful, nonviolent, political revolution. So you must take power away from them. If you don't take power away from the lobbies, then you're forever going to be their servants.
Of course.
Right? Now, you could do that in dumb ways like violence, but that's not going to work, and it's immoral. Or you could do that through the way that our founding fathers designed, through democracy, right? Take their power away at the voting booth. Primaries are golden. Go do primaries, and that's why mainstream media hates us. So, but Ryan's on, and I go, hey, Ryan, you guys have done these brilliant stories connecting Epstein to intelligence. There's no question about it. Has anyone followed up from mainstream media, New York Times, et cetera? He's like, no, not at all. And he said, look, we're going through a cache of emails that are actually public. They can actually beat us to the scoop. And I tell our competitors, beat us to the scoop, and they won't do it. They won't do it. So then we got into a conversation, why won't they do it? He said, look, I totally agree with him. There's no grand conspiracy. There's no memos written. But every reporter in D.C. knows that if you do a story on Israel, even if it's 100% factual, you're risking your career.
You want your kids to get into college, as James Carville said? That's exactly right. Well, you found out. You want your kids to get into high school? No, can't get into high school now. That happened to you.
Yeah.
I've seen very similar things. And so, yeah, that's intolerable. I have a pretty high tolerance for a corrupt ruling class. I think every ruling class is corrupt to some extent, but I have zero tolerance for humiliation, unnecessary humiliation, and for cruelty to people's families. Zero tolerance. Just never accept that. And that's what's happening now. And cruelty to the families is really, and you shouldn't be surprised. Look what they're murdering all these kids in Gaza. You think they, have different attitudes, not American attitudes at all.
So the naivete is something we were also taught by mainstream media, right? Oh, what the government says is true. And if you disagree with what the government says, you're a conspiracy theorist. Wait, that presupposes that the government never lies. Not just the U.S. government. No government ever lies. Israel never lies. Turkey never lies. Nobody ever lies. Okay.
No.
That has not been my experience.
No.
Okay.
Nor mine.
Right. Number two, they say, if you say the government is lying, you're a wacko,
you're immoral.
Crazy, you're immoral, and you should be banned from media. You should be canceled, right? So that way, there's no voices to oppose the government inside of media and press and journalism.
But as they oppress the population, so like you go, I've been in a million monarchies in my life, and some of them are well run and others are not. But in the well run ones, you can say, well, there's no freedom. You cannot let it criticize the king. Okay. But which I'm opposed to. I'm American. I have a totally different frame. However, if the country's well run and the people are prosperous and happy and they think that their children will have better lives than they do, at least you could say, well, they're doing a good job for the people here. But if you run a government that systematically oppresses the people so thoroughly that their life expectancy drops, and then you say you're not allowed to say a word about my leadership, that can't stand. Like that doesn't have a long lifespan. That's too much. Like nobody can handle that, right?
And that's where we are.
Oh, I know.
And so that's why now when the podcasters, and it's not just you and me, right? You got Tim Dillon and Theo Vaughn, and everyone is now speaking up and saying, no, enough. No mas. And so I noticed the Americans they killed. I noticed the 20,000 kids they killed. I noticed all the civilians they killed. And I noticed the Congress that they bought. And I noticed that the media is in their pockets. The Congress is obvious. They literally get paid to support Israel, let alone whatever, other interesting, material they might have from Epstein or whoever else. Right. And now I see the media. So now I see this is an awesome development, Tucker. Not just saying, hey, I'm done with Israel or I'm done with money and politics. And that's my number one issue. Israel is just a symbol. Money and politics is the cancer. That's why we lost our democracy. That's why we lost control of our government, because they're just working for the people, bribing them. It's super obvious.
Israel is a symptom. It's not the cause of all this stuff.
Exactly. So, but layered on top of all that, the thing that gives me the greatest hope is that people are beginning to see the illusion. Oh, they're getting us to fight one another. Okay. What are the culture wars? What is identity politics? So as a lot of the left was doing identity politics, we're a lone voice, the Young Turks, very much in favor of Bernie, very as left as it gets, and the biggest show on the left for a long, long time, right? But we're saying don't do identity politics.
Exactly.
Okay. Why? Because identity politics splits us apart.
Exactly.
Okay. So now you've got to get past that, and people are beginning to get past it.
And it creates conflicts that can't be resolved. Like you and I are mad at each other. Our kids are mad at each other. Our grandkids are mad at each other. Like these are not fixable problems. If you have tribal conflict, it can endure for centuries or longer. Can I say one thing I think is super important is that you can't allow people to force you to lie ever. And you will lie, inevitably, and you will say things that are wrong unintentionally. I've done both. But allowing somebody to force you to say something you know is not true destroys you as a person. And I could name many people, but Mike Huckabee I've known for over 30 years, almost 35 years, because I worked in Arkansas at the newspaper, and he's a completely different person. Completely. That's a broken man. And I say that with heartfelt compassion. That's a guy who's allowed other people to steal his integrity and force him to lie, and you become a husk. And no man can live like that. It's a 1984 Winston Smith thing. Like once you say 2 + 2 = 5, you're broken inside. Like don't allow people to force you to lie. And just need to say that.
Yeah, gaslighting is almost a industrial version of torture. Like
it is. It totally is. It strips your dignity from you.
Yeah. So on the left, you got Fetterman and Richie Torres that are like that. On the right, you got Huckabee and Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz. And notice, they told us to fight each other, but they seem to agree an awful lot.
Well, and these are not happy people either. They paid a huge cost. So they all think they're getting something out of this, and whatever they think they're getting, I can't even imagine. Or they're afraid of threats or whatever. But in the end, they lose. When you allow other people to treat you like a slave and to repeat their lies, you are destroyed, and you have to live with that for the rest of your life. Don't ever take that deal.
Tucker, let me give you one more analogy that clarifies that.
Yes.
So it's like a movie where they tell you, hey, you know what? Your wife came in with this baby that she found, and it's a victim, and you guys are going to adopt it, and she's so golden-hearted, and she brought the kid home. And you go, okay, great, let me see the kid. And a guy walks in and goes, here, first I got to give you some glasses, okay? And he gives you glasses, and you put them on, and you go, oh my God, what a cute kid.
I have no idea where this analogy is going, but I love it.
Okay, yeah.
I'm totally wrapped up in it, okay.
Yeah, so, and your wife is nursing the kid and feeding it, etc. And then one day you go, I wonder what things look like without the glasses. And the guy who gave you the glasses goes, no, don't take the glasses off. Don't take the glasses off. Now you're like, wait a minute. I really want to take the glasses off.
Yeah.
Right. And you take the glasses off and you find out the glasses were the illusion. It's not a baby. It's a grown man.
Ooh.
And he's been inside your house the whole time.
Chewing on your wife.
Cuddling with your wife.
Oh, no.
Taking your money. He's got like almost a half shirt on, big belly, hairy guy. He's sitting on your couch with your wife.
Suckling.
Okay. Suckling. It turns out the glasses were the thing that made you see it wrong. It made it seem like it was an innocent victim, a little baby you were taking care of. Now you find out you got a grown man inside your house.
Pawing on your wife and draining your checking account.
Now, the question is, who are you most mad at? Okay. I'm the least mad at the guy. First, though, the first action I'm going to take, even though I'm the least mad at him, is you got to leave. You got to leave the house right now. Otherwise, something terrible is going to happen.
The man-child.
Yes,
Who's
the man-child.
sucking on your wife. Okay, yeah, I totally agree with that.
Okay. First step is get the fuck out of my house. Okay. Second guy I'm mad at is the guy who gave me the glasses.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You made it seem like it was an innocent victim, and I was being a good guy by helping this entity. Okay. And now I find out, no, it was just someone taking advantage of me.
Yes.
And taking the person who was supposed to be closest to me, that was supposed to have trust with me.
Yes.
And taking all my money. And you played me for a fool. I fucking hate the guy with the glasses, right? But the person I'm most upset
Is the betrayer.
Is the betrayer. The wife in that case. It's an uncomfortable analogy. You could switch it
No,
to husband and wife. That's not the point. The point is, yes, if you don't get it by now, whether it's Israel or any really lobby, any donor class, that's the baby. The guy with the glasses is the media saying, oh no, these poor little oil companies, they need your money. Look at it, it's a victim. Otherwise, they can't drill for oil. These drug companies, they've only made trillions. You can't let them negotiate prices, right? Or it's Israel. Oh, it's an innocent victim of all the nasty Muslims and terrorists around them. And then you look at the map. Wait a minute. Israel has gained all this territory, and they've done it by taking $300 billion from us. But most importantly, the wife is the politicians.
Yes.
And they're supposed to represent us. And they have betrayed us. Okay. And I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
It's time for a divorce.
It's time for a divorce. So everyone's got to get out of the house. First, the hairy guy, you got to go. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to have trouble. Then the guy with the glasses, and then finally the wife. Everybody's got to go. We're going to get a fresh new start. OperationConsequences.com. Okay.
I literally could do this interview for 10 hours and never improve on that analogy. Hate to brag, but we're pretty confident this show is the most vehemently pro-dog podcast you're ever going to see. We can take or leave some people, but dogs are non-negotiable. They are the best. They really are our best friends. And so for that reason, we're thrilled to have a new partner called Dutch Pet. It's the fastest growing pet telehealth service. Dutch.com is on a mission to create what you need, what you actually need, affordable quality veterinary care anytime, no matter where you are. They will get your dog or cat what you need immediately. It's offering an exclusive discount, Dutch is, for our listeners. You get $50 off your vet care per year. Visit Dutch.com/Tucker to learn more. Use the code Tucker for $50 off. That is an unlimited vet visit. $82 a year, $82 a year. We actually use this. Dutch has vets who can handle any pet under any circumstance in a 10-minute call. It's pretty amazing, actually. You never have to leave your house. You don't have to throw the dog in the truck. No wasted time waiting for appointments, no wasted money on clinics or visit fees, unlimited visits and follow-ups for no extra cost, plus free shipping on all products for up to 5 pets. It sounds amazing, like it couldn't be real, but it actually is real. Visit Dutch.com/Tucker to learn more. Use the code Tucker for $50 off your veterinary care per year. Your dogs, your cats, and your wallet will thank you. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.